Welcome to Raising Dreamers Going Deeper. I'm Dawn Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you haven't taken the time, please go ahead and like and share these videos, and even take it a step further and go follow our YouTube page. We'd really appreciate it. And we'll, even if you want to sign up for newsletters, we keep you up to date with where we are and what churches we're ministering at, and maybe you can find a conference close to you. But today we want to talk a little bit about prayer. We're going to come out of Philippians chapter number 4, verses number 6 and 7. And the Bible says, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, make your requests known unto God." We're going to talk a little bit about prayer today. It is talked about a lot, but practiced a little. My husband says it's the most talked about and the least practiced. And that's true. We live a very busy lifestyle. And honestly, we very rarely make prayer a priority. It's usually an emergency or last resort, but we need to learn to make it a priority. I just want to tell you 3 quick things today when it comes to prayer. 1, prayer is an invitation to relationship. If you've been in any kind of relationship, then you know the key to a good relationship is good communication. And our prayer life is just that. It's a communication between us and the Lord. And I teach my kids at children's church and in our children's ministry. We talk to the Lord through prayer, and He talks to us through the Bible. And you can't have a good relationship without good communication. And that's what prayer is. It's an invitation to a relationship. And you want a relationship that is deep and meaningful, and not something that is just surface level. And that's what you're going to have if you only have a one-sided relationship, and that's the Lord wanting to speak to you, but you never speak to Him. So the Lord's inviting you to a relationship, to have a relationship with Him, and it is our job to accept that, and that is through prayer. What is good is a one-way relationship, a one-way communication, right? Number 2 is prayer replaces anxiety. These days and times, we hear a lot about anxiety, and prayer can help in that. At the very beginning of Philippians 4 in chapter 4 and verse number 6, it says, "Be careful for nothing." Nothing. Don't worry about anything. And you may say, is that even possible? Well, you'll certainly get a lot better at practicing that if when those worries and concerns come, you take them straight to the Lord. So prayer replaces anxiety. When you're feeling anxious, stop and pray. And just ask the Lord to take the anxiousness from you, and just see how He'll do. And number 3, prayer is a weapon of spiritual power. Feeling the need to pray isn't a sign of weakness, but it's actually a sign of strength. And we know our strength comes from within. And so use the tools that the Lord has given you to have the strength that we need to face the things that we face through prayer. So those may sound like good ideas, but how do we put that into practical use? 1, prayer is an invitation. If you receive an invitation, one of the first things that the invitation probably says is RSVP. Now, a lot of people don't RSVP anymore, but we should. It helps people plan. But when you receive an invitation, you need to RSVP. Make a time, make it a priority, set a date, set a time every day to have your prayer time. Set aside a time that you listen and that you worship and you pray. Number 2, prayer replaces anxiety with peace. A good way to put that to practical advice is to write down your prayer requests, the things that are bothering you, things you're anxious about. And once you pray about them, leave them there. Don't pick them back up. Don't start worrying about them again. Let the Lord take care of that. And number 3, prayer is a weapon. So list your prayer request, but also list your answers. There's nothing that strengthens your prayer life more than looking and seeing how God has answered your prayers in the past. When women ask me about how to have a good prayer life, I suggest always that when you stop and you start to pray, Realize who you're speaking to. You're speaking to the God of heaven, the one who made us, the one, heaven and earth and everything therein. Give him the reverence and the respect that's due. Address him for who he is, and be respectful and understand that you're entering the throne room of grace. And number 2 is to start your prayers with what you're thankful for. A lot of times, especially when we're newer or less mature in our spiritual walk, when we go to pray, we just make a laundry list of things I want or need. And the Lord does want to hear what we want, and he does want to hear what we need, but he also wants us to have a thankful heart. And the Bible says, with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving. So I encourage you, when you start your prayer, recognize who the Lord is, have a serious mind, go to him with an attitude of worship, and then just let him know what you're thankful for. It's a great way to start prayer, is by saying what you're thankful for. And then it makes you really in tune with what you're going to ask for is of a spiritual nature. So start with Thanksgiving. I hope these have helped you. If you need any help or any advice or a way that we can pray for you, please reach out to one of our ladies here at Raising Dreamers. We are glad to help. And God bless you, and have a great week.